This week we'll be going over all of the achievements in Industria. This is a game that was definitely inspired by Half-Life, so if you're a fan of that, you might want to take a look at this one. There are 21 achievements in the game, and the average completion time is about 4.5 hours. That's partially because, at least at the time of recording this video, there's a pretty big bug with the game that, once fixed, will probably double the amount of time that it takes. And now, let's get into it. So while watching the Thunderful World presentation the other day, hosted by the Mark Hamill,
I'm Mark Hamill, and you're watching Hamill's House.
I saw a few clips of a game and decided to go ahead and play it. It was definitely different than I expected, but wasn't too bad of a game, just a little buggy and pretty short for the price. The first achievement we'll go over is Wake Up Nora for starting a new game. You can do either normal or hardcore for this, it doesn't matter. And yes, there is also an achievement for completing the game on hardcore, but spoiler alert, at the time of making this video, the hardcore button doesn't actually do anything when you start a new game. We'll go over the workaround for that later in the video. Once you're up and moving around in your apartment, you can get Foreshadowing for finding the hive ball in your apartment. This is going to be in this office area in the trash can underneath the noteboard. A little bit later on, once you're in the actual office area, you'll go up an elevator, and then you can get Unforeseen Consequences for interacting with the PC in the office. You'll come down here to the Working Group 1 room, and you can go interact with this computer in the corner for this achievement. Then we can get the library for entering the first library. This will happen after you go through the teleporter machine and wake up in a black and white library. You'll come back here multiple times throughout the rest of the game. Once you get through this library scene, you'll wake up again, but in a different world. Here you'll get Where Am I for waking up in the Institute. A little bit further through this level, we'll be able to get Let's Break Things for picking up the pickaxe. This one is required to progress further throughout the game, so you can't miss it. For Moving Lead, you'll need to pick up the pistol. You'll have plenty of chances to pick one of these up, so it's unlikely that you'll miss it unless you actively tried to. Then shortly after that, you can get a Human Voice for picking up the radio. This is a story-related achievement and will be where you start really talking to Brent. Once you get to the end of the level, you're gonna go back to the library for a quick scene, and while here, make sure you come to this area under the stairs to get forward planning for finding the hidden key. You'll need to carry this key with you further into the game to get another one of the hidden achievements. After you go through this library chapter, you'll get Welcome to Hakavik for exiting the Institute and entering the city. Up to this point, things haven't been too bad, but this is where the game begins. The next achievement we can get is Spring Powered for picking up the SMG. Of course, like the pistol, we have many opportunities to pick this up, but the first time will be once you disable the first generator machine and fight your way up on top of this gate. We can then also get 12 AM pretty soon after that for picking up the shotgun. Same thing goes for this weapon, plenty of places to find it throughout the game. And for the last of these weapon achievements, we have a little bit closer for picking up the rifle. This one has less chances to pick it up, but you're still not very likely to miss this one unless you actively avoid picking it up. The first time you can grab it will be here before this long stretch of road before a series of stairs. While running down that section, you can also get Reviving the GDR for... yeah, I'm not gonna even try pronouncing that. Near the end of that section, right before the stairs, you can go inside of an opening of a building on the right. It'll be dark in that area with a single locked door. If you use your key on that, it'll unlock and you can interact with the radio inside for this achievement. If you made it this far in the video, be sure to let me know down in the comments what you thought about the game, hit the like button, subscribe for more achievement guides, and if you want to support the channel even further, hit the join button to become a member. Later on in the game, we'll get The Crossing for crossing the canal with the train. This will be after you get on the train and go through another library scene. Then a while later, we'll be nearing the end of the game and we can get Falling in Eternity for entering the library for the last time. Once you get to the end of this library scene, you'll also get Close to the Sun for reaching the forest. At this point, we'll be coming up to the chapel area and can clean up the last few achievements. So before actually going into the chapel, we'll need to go past it and into the graveyard for I Will Never Forget This for placing Brent's photo on his wife's grave. This will be the second grave on your left, just walk up to it and interact with it. Now we're ready to go ahead and get hanging boats for entering the chapel. At this point, we basically just have a couple of cutscenes to get through before we'll get the end is the end is the end is the end is the end for finishing Industria. Now all that's left is to get the hard way for completing the game on hardcore mode. But as I mentioned earlier, you can't actually get into hardcore mode by clicking new game and then hardcore. No matter what, it always starts you in normal. So does that mean that you're just locked out of that achievement until they fix it? Well, no, after doing some digging on the official Industria Discord server, I found that you can actually go to load a game, and then select hardcore on this dropdown, and it'll allow you to get into a hardcore game. Because of this workaround, you can actually choose just to load up the chapel chapter on hardcore mode, and skip straight to the end to get this achievement without having to replay the game with limited supplies and saves. At least until they fix that part of the game. But until then, we have a very quick and efficient way to complete it. And with that, we now have 100% of the achievements in Industria. Be sure to also check out some of my other guides to help you complete more games.